Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and today's video almost doesn't need an intro, you know what I mean, because you can feel it in the air, you know what I'm talking about. Check your watches, it is Old Firm o'clock, people, which again for me is one of the biggest derbies there is, the biggest rivalry around, and for me these days, the way football naturally is going is doing a very, very important service for everyone who actually loves football. In the modern day, over commercialised, everybody sit next to each other. Let's get half scarves. That way football actually is these days. The Old Firm keeps it old school, and it keeps it the football that me and thee grew up absolutely falling in love with, people. But it's not just the fact that it's the Old Firm. Not just that, there's an increased level on what is, again, the biggest games whenever they come around, as it is a do or die situation for these Rangers players as they go to Parkhead, knowing anything but a win. It's curtains. But more on that in the next couple of minutes, people, because just at the start of today's video, just very, very briefly, I need to say a massive thank you to every single person who's recently joined up to join the actual channel. It's a new extra that's on the channel, or a new option, I should say, that's been added to the channel. I know channels have been doing it all over the place for years. I've never done it, but I want to try and improve the channel, so I have actually added it on now, and the support has been absolutely sensational, and I certainly didn't deserve your back in that way, but I'd greatly appreciate it, and again, I'll try to make this channel better going into next season and adding new stuff. I just wouldn't have felt right if I didn't sit here and thank those who actually signed up, people. I know these are all here for the video, but I just wanted to say thank you, and again shout out everyone who's been hitting the like button recently. Again, we're hitting our best like per videos for a long time, and that's going a long way in helping us claw our way towards 60k. So if you haven't done so already, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing if you're new, or if you didn't mind, doing both if you actually can. But I know we're all here for the football, so let's go ahead and discuss it then, shall we? Aye, let's start off with the oppositional preview. And I don't feel like I need to tell anyone or explain to anyone about the team that we face tomorrow, Celtic Football Club, still being first in the league. I'm not getting into it. Addressing the elephant in the room, of course, we discussed this Celtic side just over a month ago for the, obviously, cup final. So if you've seen that video and you think I'm just going to repeat the exact same stuff, don't worry, I'm not wanting to bore anyone, so I'll try to give you a wee bit of a fresh update on what the Celtics all about, because again, you didn't need me to sit here and tell you that this is sides get it going forward and good at scoring goals. They make it pretty damn obvious. However, what I will tell you about and what we will discuss in today's video is what they've been up to since we last saw them, since we last played them, and of course since they beat us in the cup final. Again, I'm not getting into it, people, but pulling it in, they've won their 5 matches post the cup final, picking up obviously maximum points and progressing in the cup. During that 5-game run, they have scored 16 goals, showing again they are no bad at going forward. In fact, if you actually look at their run and what they've been doing, including ours and before that, it's now their 15th consecutive win. They come into this game versus Rangers hosting us at Parkhead on a run of 15 consecutive wins. The only blemish in that record to pulling it to a ridiculous number was the 2-2 draw with us, where we bottled it at the end and let them grab a point. Again, I'm not getting into it. But to be fair to this channel, and more importantly fair to you who's taking time out their day to sit here and watch this channel, I will speak about this game as fairly as possible, and again speak about the Celtic side as fairly as possible, because if you look at their entire run, that draw included, if you look at their run in Scottish football right now in terms of the challenge that we face tomorrow, going to Parkhead, they have won 28 of their last 29 games in Scottish football, people. 28 of their last 29. That's the challenge that we actually faced. The blemish before that, by the way, to stop a ridiculous run even being longer than that, was a shock 2-0 loss away to St Mirren way back in September. So I think it's not only fair to say they're due a loss, by the way, but it's obviously fair to say they've had just a ridiculously good season. As much as that sickens me to saying, you never want to praise your rivals, especially on Old Firm season when the battle fever is kicking. To be fair, they've been brilliant this season. Let's hope that changes tomorrow. But where I do think all that is fair to say, well, something else I think is fair to say, people, is we cannot allow them to make it 29 out of 30, because I know a lot of people's feelings towards the league's already done, etc, etc, but then it will really be done. That will be the final nail in the Believe Helicopter Sunday style coffin, if you will, and it's on these players to actually step up in the biggest game when it matters the most. It's fine showing up against this, and this, but this is really when you need to turn up, people, and we'll speak about that more in a minute, because that's all I've really got to say regarding the Celtic end. They're phenomenal going forward. The attacking record, they've got the goals record that they're closing in on, the points record they're closing in on. It's still there to actually be seen. But again, there's no when you blow the whistle, the more it's not going to be a 9-point gap. They're not playing with a handicap. They're not starting the game a couple goals in front. No, it's man versus man. It's player versus player, and you've got to win your individual battle, because these games, no matter who's playing well or who's playing poorly or who's leading, who's in second, all that doesn't matter when the whistle goes. It's whoever wins the battle. We saw that in the cup final with them winning that midfield battle and everything like that, and we'll speak about that in a minute or two. But it's always a battle, these games, and for me that's exactly it. So these Rangers players owe us and owe themselves and owe this league campaign to actually turn up and win one of these battles, because it's been a while. And that kind of gives me the natural transition into the Rangers side of today's video, people, because again, Celtic won't change how they line up or how they go about their business in terms of their formation. We know what to expect for them. We know it'll be fast to start, and that fast start is so damn important when we transition in to the Rangers end, because I don't think I'm being overly dramatic or even overly harsh when I say players are out here fighting for the futures. That's the way at least it should be, in my personal opinion, because these games are the biggest matches, and people can make excuses about teams lying down versus Celtic or being beat before the whistles or geeing up no being in, or they can make all the excuses if you want. But if you look at us versus them this season, we have played them 3 times in total. We haven't won a single game, people. That's the reality of the situation. That's the reality on these players. And if these players who's wearing these Rangers shirts, that has the privilege to wear these Rangers shirts, can't turn up and win when it matters the most, then they shouldn't be wearing it. I don't care if that's harsh, I don't care if that's dramatic. I'm just being serious, because to me the jersey still means something, people, and I think there's people, a lot of people in and around the club, both on and off the park, that I think's taking that matter for actual granted. We should never settle for second best. We shouldn't be happy with moving that. No, we only should be happy when we're battling and beating our biggest, fiercest rivals, in my personal opinion. And look, I've not got my head buried into the sand, people. I know there's a lot of people feeling flat coming in to this game because of the league position, because of how we played previously, because we've not turned up in the last couple of Old Firms, and I get all that, people, especially when you look at what's actually going against Rangers coming in to this game, because you have the league position minus 9 points, of course, but it's actually basically 10 points if you look at their goal difference, because their goal difference is absolutely ridiculous. You've also then got no fans there to back the players and get them going and everything like that, and of course you have got to go to Parkhead and win. And listen, I'm not naive enough to try and talk down that going to Parkhead, because I've seen some of the greats during my time on this earth, people, go to Parkhead and not be able to get a result. I know it's a tough place, and I know Celtic at Parkhead is and probably will always be, in fact it will always be, our hardest games of the actual season. But for me, where a lot of people's trying to make excuses and point all these things and everything like that, for me it's no an excuse, and it's no all that's gone against them, because they're pushed into a war right now, they're backed into a corner. And again, after tomorrow, there is so many people hoping and praying they can crown a Celtic and lambast the Rangers players, but where they are getting backed in the corner, I look at it, the fact that they should at least come out swinging then, people, because there isn't much pressure on, because everyone's saying it's done, everyone's saying this, everyone's talking about the league position, goal difference, Parkhead, no fans, everyone's saying that. Well, come out swinging then and show a wee bit of sun. Actually start the game off with intensity, that you actually care and you actually know Celtic Football Club's going to start quickly under Ange Postecoglou. No get caught with your pants down, want to warm up into the game. No, actually turn up, be at the intensity, and just come out swinging. That's all we can ask for as a fan base, and that's all we can ever ask for as a fan base. It needs to happen tomorrow, because we've reached that point, people, where it is all on the hunt. Somebody could say that's the same with January, but again, you always still had that leeway. You still had a couple of months left in football, but there's none of that anymore now, people. There is no other positive result to get for the Mora. If you can't win it, then you lose it. And that's nonsense, people. The only positive result for us tomorrow is all 3 points, and that's what every single Rangers player and Michael Beale should be out here talking about. It is a win we need tomorrow. So I actually want to see us just turn up and be at it for the actual start. Let's meet them at halfway. Let's make it an actual battle, and let's make it a difficult game, and let's actually pick our best players. Again, I'm not getting into it. But what I will get to, people, as I try to navigate today's video with my broken thumb and everything like that, that's why I look even weirder in today's video, I will bring you some trivia, people, and I try and calm the napper down a little bit, because coming in to this game, there has been 3 rivalries this week, 3 derby games, if you will, where the away team has been sitting second in the league and gone to the opposition's team, or opposition's ground, with no away fans, people. Do you know how 2 of those 3 games have went so far? Both Real Madrid and Ajax have won with no fans, sitting second in the league, gone away to the rivals. Look, I'm not saying it's 100% fate or anything like that, but what I'm saying is that's 2 of the 3 that's turned up, and I'm going to take this mad coincidence into thinking it's going to be free for free and back this Rangers team to continue it and make it a full house. But moving away from the fun fact, if you actually will, let's get to what we all want to talk about. The Rangers team, who's eligible to play, is Raskin back? That's all we want to see, people. That's all we want to know. And yes, people, Raskin is fit and available. So you take that, right? You've got Raskin fit and available, who is our top midfielder. You've got Cantwell in there, people, who's been picking up man of the match awards like he's been picking out new hairbands. You've got all that gone in to the biggest, in to the most important game. So you know what, people, I genuinely cannot wait, and I mean this, I cannot wait to see Lundstrom and Kamara actually selected. Now obviously I'm having a wee bit of fun with a daft joke there, but is it a daft joke? No, seriously, because that's the exact situation we done the last time. We had the 2 of them, never played them, so I don't know what to expect going in tomorrow, but I need to see the best players. I need to see the manager learning from his wrongs, because as much as Celtic's been phenomenal and winning these games and that, we've also been very good, and Michael Beale's turned us around. But again, in their 2 biggest games, for me, the substitutions that he made in the early January game when we're winning 2-1 was wrong. And he got it completely wrong, bringing on Sands and Scott Wright. And for me, he got it wrong before a ball was even kicked going in to the cup final, playing someone who's barely trained and was out injured. In fact, 2 of the 3 midfielders were injured playing in a cup final. So it's time for Michael Beale to learn his lesson and pick the best players available, because if you just put your best players out there, you can get beat. I'm not saying, oh, if they does this and does this, we're obviously going to win. No, but we just want to see our best versus their best, and let's see who wins the battle. That's all we want to see. We can, well, I was going to say we could take getting beat, but we all know how that's going to go the more if we do. But at least we can wee bit more understanding. If our best goes out there and they get beat on the day, fair enough. What's really annoyed us the last couple of times is everyone, before a ball's been kicked, has looked at our team versus them and says, that's no our best players available. Put the best players out there. They're at this football club. They're getting the privilege to wear the Rangers shirt. Let's see them actually earn it. And aye, that's all I'm really going to say, because the rest of the team news remains the exact same. There's no been any injury updates, or more importantly, injury setbacks. If you've been paying attention to these preview videos, there's been nothing like that, and I expect the team to be pretty damn simple. I expect it to be McGregor, Tav, Goldie, Davies, Barisic, who owes us a game versus Celtic. By the way, I expect Jacko to be in there alongside Raskin and Cantwell. That's the midfield 3 that I'm expecting, with both Kent, Sakala and Alfredo Morelos up top. That's the 11 I'm expecting to see tomorrow. Again, some people might be surprised at that, but if you're bringing in a Tillman, I think if you're bringing his energy, his creativity against a Celtic coming in to the second half, I think it could be a real thorn in their side if that's the way we actually go. And I think if we had that substitution when we did have that 15, 25 minute spot versus Celtic in the cup final, if we had a Tillman coming on rather than starting the game, and that we could have probably done a wee bit of 2. So that would be my 11. Going into the game, that's 11 that I'm expecting. But aye, I just wouldn't rule out seeing John Lundstrom in the actual starting 11. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. How do you want us to line up? I didn't do this very often, but I would love to know, genuinely, how you would set this Rangers team up. What is our best 11 to go out there away to Parkhead with the type of game it's actually going to be? Let me know down in the comment section below. And with that being said, all that's left us today is to also slap a prediction. And call me stupid, call me naive, but I'm going to back my team always, people. Always. I will always back my team. I think it will be a channel favourite, Rangers 2-1. If there's ever been a game to shout out 2-1, if there's ever been a game that we needed a 2-1, it's this one right here. So fingers crossed they turn up. Fingers crossed they come out swinging, because there is zero and I mean zero reason for this team to start slow and no meet Celtic at the halfway line. There just isn't, as the posties at the door. With that being said, that's reached the end of today's video. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully we're all smiling. That would be lovely. But until then, I've been CJ over 92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best and bye-bye.